at the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies, Churchill Roosevelt Highway, Valsay. Admission is only $200. Get your tickets now. Tickets are sold at the office of the chairman. For more info, call 723-1126. All part of the Tunapuna Pialco Regional Corporation's Tunapuna Week 2025.
Mario's bringing the true Trini Christmas in every slice. Introducing the Pastel Pizza.
With green olives, capers,
raisins, pimentos,
and your choice of beef, chicken, or soya. It's Christmas wrapped up in a pizza.
Get a dozen slices for just $145 and taste that festive flavor you only get from home.
Mario's Pastel Pizza.
True Trini Christmas in every slice. Call 225-KING. Download the My Mario's app or visit mymarios.com to order yours today.
Celebrating Christmas on the Eye. Celebrating Christmas on the Eye. Inside the Barbershop. I-95 Christmas. Your home for the holidays.
I tell you it must have got well, my partner reached down by me with a big can. One big barang bang. Christmas Eve, man. About 15 big man packed up inside 2 van. If you see humans, real confusion. So me and me madam Joy, we start to entertain the boys.
But one song the lead singer decide to sing that mash up the whole flipping thing. But he want to spread joy for the Christmas, get joy for the Christmas, real joy for the Christmas. Can't be my madam is singing about show joy for the Christmas, no joy for the Christmas, oh joy for the Christmas. Well, I done ready to bust him out. Them trying to convince me he ain't mean nothing, but I rush him soon as he mouth open. You know why? You can't steal my joy this Christmas, not my joy. Go and let me feel my joy this Christmas. Look here, boy. Every your time for plenty liming and greeting, but before you get a Yuletide beating. Adios, amigos. Take your paranderos and vamos. Cause you can't touch my joy this Christmas, not my joy. Don't even watch my joy this Christmas. Leave here, boy. One to them, boy.
Yeah, and this morning he could tell me about he want to spread joy. I said not me. Not me. You understand? Joy. If I know a man coming here this morning and he big like that.
No, here
you
could spread joy here.
I spreading joy.
If you happen to come by me to Parang, you could enjoy yourself.
You can spread joy. You can enjoy, but you can't spread.
You can't spread joy.
And nobody can steal my joy.
Yeah, well,
it's your joy.
Once your joy is not my joy, we don't have a problem. But anytime it have a cross section within the joy,
or joys,
nobody wouldn't enjoy that.
Let's take a joy. You see?
Morning.
Greetings. Just cool.
How you do?
Day like night. I just hire you know.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, man.
Yeah, all the best to you, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
That's important.
Yeah, nice to have you.
Yes, man. For sure.
That's some of the discussion here this morning. You will sit out and that's some Gil will entertain. We got Gil has some questions and we'll take some phone calls. We'll let's have some
all
joy.
that good.
We can make some merry
fun.
So let me start.
We got some fun with joy. Sorry, we go let's have fun.
Yeah, just have fun.
You.
I want to start here, right?
Yeah.
It go seem like a strange place to start. It's done about 2 years, maybe 3 years since the last time I was in this building, right? And the last time I was in this building, I knew that this building would have been problematic. And it's only now in this present time I realize just how problematic this building all you're working in is. All your building is part of the code.
What's the code?
Yeah, boy.
The code is yellow.
Joy is my world, so you can come and sing them kind of song. Your man.
No, that's all I like, right? But there's some of your ways I don't like.
No, but listen, I ain't finished there.
Oh, you ain't done yet?
No. The real problem, that is only part of the problem, is a two-pronged problem.
Right.
Because the building yellow. Since the last time I come here, the building yellow.
Right.
But now, when you're walking in the door, the pillars and the arch red. What all you come now, man?
Make up your mind.
Everything stop. Everybody shock. Me partner begging and apologizing. My temper rising and the singer hiding. Event.
And I repeat in confidence. With confidence. Is a fella I like? But some of the ways I don't like.
But how you could not like that? I mean, as a Kaison and I go observe these things. You understand? So I saying this, you see, and then we just wonder why it have people in the country and more specifically why it have people in the building that seem like they're politically schizophrenic.
For the Christmas more joy, for the Christmas all joy, for the Christmas me I tell them flat. That is a song could cause bacchanal and war. So best to take it on the repertoire.
John Gill, I feel looking right that guy, so you know. I feel looking right that guy, so on this song go. Don't write no guy on me,
You know what I mean? I said, but what going on here? But I just stand up on the step for a while and watch the building and the doorway before I walk through. I say, you really want to undertake this today on this sunny Saturday, this nice sunny Saturday where there's no traffic on the highway. You reach up the road in no time.
Oh God,
you want to walk through this doorway and embrace all of this. But it's all here, so it's because all your hearts are come. But if it wasn't all here, I'd throw some holy water on that stuff and go away.
So good. Hey, Mr. Shak, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you. One thing about you could entertain. Yeah. You bring laughter up in the midst, man, and that's important.
Well,
and what you're saying is
fact.
It's colors of the building.
That's the colors of the building. Since the last time I come here, I say, I hope the paint over that. I coming up the road, I say, I hope the paint over that building. And I bust the corner and shine street, and I see the place get bright as well. All right.
Their business.
I say,
but if I had to say the building would have been pink.
No, well, you see, pink would have been less problematic.
Yeah.
Pink would have been less problematic.
In one way.
Yeah, in one way. In one way.
You can't touch my joy this Christmas. Not my joy. Don't even watch my joy this Christmas. Leave here, boy. Want the key, boy.
Let me call laugh in this face.
Hey.
Oh God.
Hey!
Hear this now, quick. It just passed there. You see, the president of the USA, Donald Trump and
Mom Danny.
the boy, they meet up and Trump happy now. Trump said certain things yesterday before the man went up for election.
Donald is a master grand charger, you know.
Yeah, boy.
Master grand charger, you know.
So Donald said he was going to pull everything, you know, no support, nothing.
Yeah.
No listener.
He said he feel like he met with a rational man.
Yes.
You know, a man.
Say, well, what is this?
But so Donald is the king of walk it back, you know.
But I say he's a master
The king
grand
of walk it
charger.
back. You understand?
Is it that we judge him on that, or we could judge him as a businessman? Is that clever? He could negotiate well. Is it that?
But how, John?
Tell
But
me.
nothing the man negotiate happen. They come true. Everything he could negotiate fall flat.
But that's a good sign, though.
You understand?
You feel so sure?
Well, to some degree.
No, well, because
some degree.
there are people mirroring.
Boy, listen now. You could it are real people, right? It are plenty people. As you talk about marine, it are plenty people who just say this guy is Sonian too. Till there's one thing and thing, you know. But when you put them alongside the real McCoy, you just realize, well, they're marine too. So marine mean nothing really, you know. You could
Gentlemen, give me 10 minutes or less, I'll be back. 5 minutes, I'll be back. Let's go ahead, continue
All
this
right,
question.
cool. Yeah. But that's but as we say, Donald is proving to be the king of walk it back.
Yeah.
See it, grand charge, and then walk it back.
Well, I'll tell you. For me, I think that is where that is a main part of what the game of politics become. It is pander to whatever you feel vibrating in your base.
Now when you realize it, then makes sense.
Yeah, and walk it back wherever vibrating in your base. So it's a lot of rage baiting, you know. It's
gaslighting.
It's a lot of gaslighting. It's a lot of convenient, outrage. and is really all about continuing to play the mind game with people, and
Yeah, but who should be the gatekeeper of that? Should there be gatekeepers for that kind of behavior?
Well, in terms of the behavior, well, I mean, unless you make it illegal for politicians to lie, which I can't see how you're going to do that, right? Because I feel that is part of the prerequisite.
Yeah, but you have to have a gatekeeper.
But well,
and
I
long
feel
time the gatekeeper used to be the Kaisonian.
Well, the Kaisonian continues to be that in many respects, right? In our society, right? I mean, if we're looking on a global scale, we see it happening still, right? Because the comedians taking that role in terms of the North American situation. Yeah. Even here too, we have some of the people who do that.
Yeah.
The Calypsonians, the artists in a general sense. People who more in the artistic realm. But for me, I think generally, the people supposed to be the gatekeepers of that, the public. Because at the end of the day, right, you could have... All right, look at what is happening in Uncle Sam right now. There are a lot of rules, regulations, and even laws that are in place that ought to keep a lot of the actions that Trump and his administration are undertaking at bay. And it is not working. It doesn't matter. Because and the reason why it doesn't matter is because he is empowered not only by the cronies around him who seem to want to do his bidding for their own purposes, but he is also, well, for a long time, he was empowered by his base, right? So that when you look at what happened with the insurrection, when he lost the election, and a number of those people were in prison, and he pardoned practically all of them, right? So those are the messages that being sent, and as I say, there are the administration has been blatantly breaking laws. Likewise, here we would see
because what he has been doing is putting people in place, like in the justices and things, Supreme Court and things that are vital to him getting his will.
And even with that in place, there have been rulings handed down from the circuit courts, the different circuit courts in America, to restrict him from doing certain things, that he ought not to do certain things, and they go ahead and do it anyway.
Yeah, because he has the thing at the Supreme Court.
Exactly.
So once it go up to
but the Supreme Court is part of it. But okay, let's look at what happened with this, just with the Epstein file situation. Let us go further with the No Kings protests that have been happening. And each time they have the No Kings protests, is more and more people. And that is where we started to see the chink in his armor. Because the people rose up in a way to let them know that, listen, and when they started to see parts of their own MAGA base who started to get negatively affected, realize, this not working, and join the No Kings protest. So I'm saying that you could have whatever check and balance in place, even laws. Politicians will find ways to contravene even laws. But the people, the society has to find the wherewithal to be the gatekeepers ultimately, especially in this time where it is so much more easy for politicians and the likes to be deceptive.
All right, good. I hear all of that. But for example, what the great Donald has been doing is dispatching, what do you call them? The guards. Right, to kind of quell.
I see it. Yeah.
And here in Trinidad,
it's the emergency. Yeah, correct.
That is meant to do the same
thing.
Of
course, is a as you say, is a mirroring. I mean, on a serious note, is a mirroring of
but the difference is, for me, Mr. Shak, there are people in the United States that have had enough and are willing to put their lives on the line for their country.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that here.
Well, Trinidad is a different place.
Yes.
One, I have always said that for me, Trinidad, apart from its race issues, its historic race issues, Trinidad also has classist issues. And Trinidad, I'm not talking about Tobago now, Trinidad is a place that has a set of little sub-societies existing in the society. Right? And some of them are very good at practically insulating themselves from the reality of other parts of the society. So that you find that there are people who they may observe certain things going on that may not be of the best, but if it ain't really affecting them or not affecting their sect or their circle, is not something that they're going to get actively involved in. So until it come for them, And that is part of the problem. So in this society, it has always been, it has been increasingly difficult to get the entire society to move on our one head because of that fragmentation within the society. You look at Tobago a little bit different. Now the political landscape has changed, yes, but in terms of the societal makeup, it is still mainly the generations may have gone on, but there is a thing that still binds them together, so that when Tobago say we move in so, for the most part,
they have less segmentation.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of dynamic, and whether the direction they're moving in is left, right, up, down, right, wrong. Once they say they're moving so, they're moving so. It is a little more difficult to get that in Trinidad. A lot of people have, again, apart from the fragmentation, a lot of the society has become detached there. Has become detached for all kind of reasons, because existing in the space is really tiring.
Okay, so let's go back to Tobago. So Tobago have a what? A togetherness?
It's
close family.
That is part of it. That is part of it. And
religion is also another part.
Exactly. And then their ethnic makeup. Let us be real about it. It is much more monolithic than Trinidad. Right? There's a lot more diversity here. And the diversity is what creates that segment, or helps create that fragmentation and segmentation within the society. So even if you look at the races and them, at least this is my observation, if you look within the different ethnicities, within the ethnicities, they also have their class segmentations, right? So it is fragmentation on top of fragmentation happening, and everybody existing in different degrees of silos, but in one society. And we all being impacted. The same things are happening. We are experiencing the same thing, but how it is impacting the different segments of society is impacting them different. The concern levels different, and it is a
but they have the whole thing about they came for the Jews. I said nothing.
Correct.
Right? They came for this one. I said nothing, and when they come for me, there's nobody to defend me.
Well, I mean, we already start to see some of that playing out. We already start to see some of that playing out, and I mean, the further it go,
How do we pull back on this though? How do we pull it back?
That is a very good question. $1 million question.
Because and the other thing about us too, which is a good and a bad. All right, so 1970 happened, 1990 happened, but we lived through it and we party through it and we survive it. If those things had happened in other islands, there might have been a lot more violence and death and that kind of thing, which is so we could say that is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, because we take things that a lot of other societies would not.
So, and you say is a two-pronged thing. As you say, there's a good in it. And there's a bad in it.
Right.
Valentino have a very interesting calypso called the Roaring 70s, where he say, Trini have a funny way of forgetting. You see the history to them like it don't mean nothing, and that's a serious thing. And until such time, I think we have to face the fact too that Trinidad and Tobago, for as much as we laud ourselves, we are still a very politically immature society. Right? We are still a very politically immature society in a number of ways. First thing first is, I think that until we make the study of politics within civics a serious discipline within the education system.
Hold on. Stick up in. First we had to get back civics, because civics gone.
Well, there's my point.
Right.
And so until we could reestablish that kind of thing, and because you see, politics is it could be a very off-putting thing to a lot of people, right? And not only that, it takes maturity, and it also takes interest and work. A simple thing. After the budget, everybody knows the Standing Finance Committee that's be going on. They show it on the TV, it's be on the radio, wherever. How many people actually listen to it? Or we have this thing in the society where people just take things they hear from other people, and and not a lot of people have that inbred in the system to go and actually do the research themselves, seek out the things, even if you're just looking at the things that interest you, right? That impact you, that you think will impact you. So so that we could be a more politically informed society, rather than the kind of is a lot of rumor and old talk, just flyers information here.
A lot of people prefer you to come inside here and say, hey, It raining outside,
Exactly.
rather than pull the curtain and see what really going on.
And that's what I'm saying. That is all of that contributes to our political immaturity because there's information that is readily available. Yeah. They always talk about the fact. I hear people complain about the fact that this party or this community or they're saying what they're doing, and that is not a fact. That is not so. It is just that we are, in many ways, we are intellectually lazy society, right? In many ways, we are an intellectually lazy society where a lot of people don't take the time and the interest as they should, and they rather. Now, I understand that time has changed, right? And so I am not casting a blanket blame because, for example, when I was younger, me now old, but what I'm saying, as a younger fella, it was more the news. That was a staple. You had to watch the news. Yes. So much so that it in me still. You must read the papers. Now this generation is getting the news more via social media and non-traditional forms of media. The problem is that the traditional and legacy media have been assisting that move away because them themselves become cheap tabloids.
Yeah.
And getting in the rum talk and the street talk and and the rush to be first rather than to be accurate and to be responsible, so that there is a turn. Even for me now, for somebody who I grew up reading the papers all the time, right? And even now, if I take that paper to pull it now, there is a preset thing in my mind that half of what I read here mightn't be true. Any news story I watch on the news, that is a preconceived thing I go in with. Half of this, whatever I read here today, or whatever I see here might not be true. And that is a problem, right? So when you see people leaning to other, and then again, social media and the difference in people's attention span and all kind of thing. So you have a lot of disinformation and misinformation filled in. And with a society of people who are not geared towards doing that research and discernment themselves.
Yeah, but some politicians must play on that, right?
Of
course.
Of course. For example, what happened a couple Fridays ago was based on misinformation.
Yeah.
But then, when there's a vacuum, universe do appreciate vacuums, eh?
Of course.
Something will fill it.
I will say this. I posted something on social media. I said, and you see, this is the problem. A lot of times when people speak fact and truth for convenience and out of sycophantic behavior, people will turn it political. I said, I do not care what your political leanings are. But when the leader of our government makes it a habit of being absent and silent, especially at a time when her job demands the responsibility of being accessible and communicable, that is equal to dereliction of duty in my mind, right? And that has nothing to do with political. That I would find that about any prime minister, any leader who does
whoever.
The problem is when you have your base who don't hold it to that standard. I mean, look at a simple thing that has happened. This present administration hardly ever makes itself available for scrutiny by the media, right? There may be questions while going to parliament, coming from parliament, they catch them in a corner. On the flip side, and again, this is not, I don't have no skin in the game, but I'm saying on the flip side, the opposition is actually creating platforms for the media to come and have press conferences and ask questions and get information. And you would hear the media posing questions to the opposition that they ought to be posing to the government, and they never do it even when they get the opportunity to do it. So the people who ought to have the responsibility to be balanced and responsible and discerning, they're not even doing it. No.
They abdicated their responsibility.
We could guess why. But what I'm saying is that all of that fuses into where we are as a society and why it has so much as smokes and mirrors in the thing right now, you know?
But gentlemen, I want you all to notice the government of today, when they came into office, they never put together a Ministry of Information, a Ministry of Communication. So there's no communication ministry, there's no Ministry of Information.
And I want to go further, there's no communication.
And communication, no. Because in the past we know of communication ministry,
I know.
information
but
ministry.
Maybe there's an indication of where they want it to go.
Well, maybe. But at least I heard a caller this week on the radio station and he called in and he touched on it. And I said, boy, somebody pick it up. They don't need that. Because they have other people who could do it for them.
Yeah, well, again, it may not be, they may not have that communication set up in a traditional sense, and probably that is because, there are certain standards and certain levels of scrutiny that would come with that. But when you have people sending out decisions by tweet and all these kind of things,
So there's no need for a ministry.
But I'll tell you, as somebody pointed out to me recently, exactly as you talk about the mirroring, exactly what is happening in MAGA is happening because I'll tell you, there are some political entities that they do not know how to govern. Their only effectiveness in function is when they can oppose. Right? Is when they can oppose, because governing is a whole different responsibility. It's a whole different skill set. And opposing, however, it takes a lot less, and it could seem a little easier,
So we're just saying that in a real sense that if you wish to answer, if not, you should not answer. That the UNC good in opposition, and the PNM good in government, and the PNM not good in opposition.
But that is not totally true.
I
hear you, but I hear where
I get your question, and it doesn't translate across the board, right? What I'm saying to you is, we can see historically between the two major entities, which of them take their responsibilities or seem to take their responsibilities more seriously, right? And which of them try to adhere more to the principles of what their responsibilities ought to be. And that is just,
But you hear complaints at times. On this radio station, you hear complaints, callers calling and complaining about the opposition. Not opposing enough. And, where's the opposition? Where's the leader of the opposition?
Right.
You hear that on a regular basis. We mustn't bury our heads in the sand. I hear it, I listen, I hear it, yeah.
And you're right. And so I hear it too. And I would say from my observation, some of that may be legitimate. And I suspect that some of that could be exactly what we was talking about just now in the society. You see, people feel that when they are not aware of something being done or being said, that it may happen. That is the way we just live in the society. Because it hasn't crossed your radar. More importantly, because you have not availed yourself of the information. Right. You find it must come and meet you in your house. It must come and knock you on your door and say, hey, the opposition talking about this today. And when you do not do that, and it doesn't pass your radar, then it ain't happening. So you go call your radio station and quarrel about it ain't happening. When it actually, in fact, it happened and you just say no.
Or they expect a certain style, or they have a certain side.
Exactly. So, for me, it have a lot of frills that I feel we could cut out in terms of, but again, that comes with, for me, the maturity of the society politically, and we ain't there yet. There may be sectors and some of us who in that place, but generally as a society, we ain't reached there yet. Not from my observation.
Gentlemen, let's go to the phone line.
Yeah, 622-3937 is the number. And the question is, and you're right, bringing things like civics back into the schools and making, because the generation that a little more politically aware and mature are the generations that were exposed to civics and things.
Exactly. And I don't think it's a case of there not being a desire in terms of the younger generations to have that awareness, I don't think that there's a lack of desire, because when bacchanal happening in the political spaces, you just hear them talking about it too,
big time.
Right? So I'm saying it is not that there is of course, because they're young and they like excitement, the more salacious it is going to catch the attention easier. I must give kudos, though. I see there are some young people like on TikTok and things who have been using the platforms to disseminate information and the correct information.
There's a young lady from Tobago that I always enjoy.
Yes. Yeah. So it is happening. It happening slowly but surely. But again, some of the ingrained, negative things within the whole political landscape still deeply rooted in the society, and again, I guess it's only time and education and
But what you see, like the young lady from Tobago, and I know who you're speaking about. Take for instance that young lady. For her to get a voice per se, let's say on mainstream media, she may have to belong to a political side. the yellow side or the red side. But in a normal head, she ain't getting no play from the mainstream media. She would keep her stuff on social media. But she be recognized and say, well, this person have an independent mind. She might be tipped. She could be a person that we could put in the Senate to act as an independent senator or something. You know, let's just try as a young person. Let's see what to do about. You think they're thinking like that way?
I don't know. I don't know if the political directorate on either side, I don't know if they're thinking that way. I can't say. What I will say though is, I hear you about the mainstream media thing, and not that it doesn't help. But for me, the more time goes by, the effect of mainstream media is not going to be as impactful as it was in those respects. You know?
And while I hear you, what you're saying, and what you're saying might be reality, as I sit here and because of my position, I cannot sit here and allow you and my colleague or Harry or Tom to call to say things like that. Because it means that I'll be out of a job.
No. What I mean is...
And you'll be out of a job.
No, you're missing the boat.
I understand the boat very well. I don't get that.
No. What's saying it? What I'm saying is...
protecting the interest. I can't vex with him.
And I hear that.
I can't vex with him.
But you know, sometimes... And sometimes that is part of the problem. Because we protect what we perceive to be our interest.
Yeah.
When there's a bigger interest, a larger interest.
I'll say this.
Greater impact.
I'll say this. Now I know that
exactly.
I know John was being provoking, but what I say is
I know
this.
that too.
Even for anybody who would take that position seriously, the proof is in the pudding. You know, I95 streams on the net. Right? Now, if whoever was in charge of making that decision didn't see the impact of social media and presence on social media, then all you wouldn't be doing that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying the proof is in the pudding that social media right now, I would say it is just as important. And the difference is, however, there is still a certain level of credibility attached to mainstream media that is not yet attached to social media, and rightfully so. But this is why when people who are supposed to be experts and spokespersons in different fields come on mainstream media, that is why they ought to exhibit some responsibility. The problem is people come on mainstream platforms, on traditional platforms, with their own agendas, with no responsibility whatsoever, and disseminate disinformation and misinformation that has helped to cloud the space. Right, and that is the other problem that we have in now, because we have a lot of professor this and doctor this and that, and who have all kind of letters behind the name, and they're teaching people all kind of thing and all kind of tertiary
with agendas,
with dangerous agendas too.
Yep.
You know.
Let's go to the phones now. 622-3937. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. If I was in that studio, I would have first one kiss on Mr. Shak. Listen.
You just anyhow. I wasn't going. I ain't going to.
Careful, no joy might not like that. But I hear you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good
morning.
You are speaking for me. You are speaking so loudly, and you know, John Benoit more so would know we would have private conversations. And you are saying exactly what I have been saying. People are intellectually lazy. We have become a society that are scared to speak out because of what others might perceive us to be. So then we remain mum. So in my world, silence is consent. So all the negatives, all the things that we're supposed to speaking about, because we may be perceived a particular way, we wouldn't speak on it, and we leave it to fester. And when it fester, you have some quiet noises, some quiet in little corners. But we're not vociferous enough with all the ills that befall us. And you do not have to, as I was saying on one of my posts, you could love your opposition leader to death. You could love your prime minister to death. But when they're doing something that you disagree with, while you're loving them, you could say, I love you, yes, but I disagree with that. And we do that with our children.
Correct. Right.
And that is my point. Why have we become a mom society that all of a sudden, and I don't know if the mumness came, if that is even a word, with this new administration, because to me people were more vociferous. All these people that were vociferous to the top of the lungs, same people you talk about with all kind of accolades behind the name, and is in this professor, this and that, had an opinion on every living thing. You telling me every single thing going absolutely correct, that none of them could say anything? Everybody just leaving everything. And that is my issue. My issue is that we have become a society that we do not know how to be mature. Because we are dealing with immature people, and because we are so scared of the repercussions. A gentleman lost his visa yesterday. You understand? You understand where we at?
Yeah, and as you raise that, you see, I think part of the thing too, Ali, is a young lady is now in prison for.
Yes.
Now, I don't support all that she said, but the difference is this regime is prepared to act where probably the other regimes won't. So therefore, there was a lot more freedom and a lot more vociferous opposition.
And a lot more giving a blind. We ain't taking them out.
A lot of people just saying here, well, me going there because it have lock up. Or it have, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that would box you in a closet that you yourself would want to come out one day and eventually, you will not be able to come out.
No, I hear you and I agree with you, but that it could be partially the reason for the silence that we're hearing.
Well, always my friend on Facebook, so you know me in business.
But you know that too.
Yeah, but Ali, but Ali, what about those? What about those who kept talking for long, trying to show you signs that this thing coming down in a certain way? Watch here, look up there, look down there. Take things serious, and people ain't paying no attention. And when the bug come and bite them now, they want you to help them. What about those people who decide to say, well, I ain't saying nothing again?
Who had their head in the sand?
Yeah.
Well, I could understand those people's want to retreat because like when you're telling a child one thing over and over and the day something happened to them, you say, you're on your own with that. I understand that position as well. But I do not even know that I am pointing in that direction, that we're speaking of those people. I hear you, John. Yeah. But we are not even speaking of those people. We have these people, and we will always have these people, and they will get fed up at a time. But we are not talking about those. We are talking about those who have an opinion on every living thing. All of a sudden... Silence. Oh, yeah?
Stay good.
Blessings.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Mistah Shak, I love you.
Give thanks, I appreciate that.
You know, but,
all right, darling. Okay,
but going back to that incident where the young lady is now in prison for voicing, I think it was not wise, but I understand what she meant, but it don't mean what it does really. It's not what you mean, you know. It's what you see.
And that therein brings us squarely back to the realm that has been bestowed on somebody like me as a Kaisonian. I remember when I did Rogue in 2010, singing about corrupt police and so on. Several people around me say, Shak boy, they go come for you, they go lock you up. I listened to that. I was never really swayed by that, and it wasn't really arrogance or ignorance. It is because at that point, I think I had already understood the responsibility, and not only that, the craft of what I am doing. So you see, people just hear me say certain things and feel like I just saying anything. But I take my time to very carefully craft what I'm saying, right? So that it would be hard pressed. Me saying it impossible, you know. I saying it would be hard pressed to box me in that way if you have malicious intent from that perspective, right? And I hear it with Bois, I hear it with several other songs. And I'm saying, I because of the craft that I am in, I understand that there's a responsibility to couch whatever I'm saying, no matter how acerbic or how lashing it might be. So I'm saying, but had I been disturbed or perturbed by those early rumblings, I Shak they go lock you up. Or they might have never hear somebody cases from me that all they would have hear. Or they might have never hear somebody things from somebody other, you know, outspoken Calypsonians that they might have hear. So I'm saying, in the society, people also have to understand that even in speaking out, you have to be wise, and there's a responsibility too, right? Understanding the landscape and the atmosphere that we're in now. But for me, to just choose to not speak, I think it is more important to figure out how to speak and how to couch what you're saying, right? And while on the outset that might seem like a negative thing, I think there is a important lesson in that. Yeah, in terms of the responsibility with our free speech as well. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that is my thing. But you know, as she was mentioning, and you know, as you express, and I go clean it up, because I agree with you. Head in the sun is not a good place to be, because when you're head in the sun, your posterior could be exposed in a very detrimental way.
I expected better of you. No, Shak. As I said before, right, at the top, right, there's some things I like, and there's some things I don't like.
Reality.
No, but reality, you push that agenda there in Shak.
No, but you're right.
But it's reality. You can't hide from reality, you know. But I think one of the problems.
But hold on, John. Just imagine that Kaiso that boy.
Hey man, that good Kaiso.
Yeah, but he had it.
You sing it now. Stand up there.
No, not me. Wrong man.
Yeah. I know I'm going to tell you I go write it. No. I know I'm going to tell you I go write it for you, John. You start to back out.
You start to back out. Back.
All you only play, all you like Gael, all you like the Gael at all.
You know, but I think one of the challenges we find with the young people is that the absence of that craft. To be able to say it, but say it skillfully without exposing yourself. They like to say it as they feel it.
Yeah,
when you listen on TikTok and things.
Yeah, and again, that is the influence of outside culture, having that freedom to say that. That is not the reality that we exist in. And more importantly, I think that people appreciate craftiness, thoughtfulness, especially from in our perspective, and that is why Kaiso remains such an important art form in the space.
But you know, that is our history, though. Yeah. Kaiso was born at a time when you couldn't say it plain. Yeah. You had to find a way to say it that everybody would understand.
Yeah.
And you still protect yourself.
Yes.
Right? That's where Calypso was born. And
let's go back to the phone.
Yeah,
please.
Let's go to the phone. Yeah.
Hi, good morning. Welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Gentlemen, good morning.
Morning.
Welcome.
First of all, I must say thank you to Mr. Shak, or thank you to Johns for bringing him on the show, and I'd like to thank him and continue to ask God's blessing upon him to continue doing what he's doing.
Give thanks.
And saying what it is he's saying within the law, because we don't want you to get locked up. Just now,
trust me, we don't want that at all.
Just now, AI now might get locked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way they go in with all these things, they go find a way of locking up AI too. Gentlemen, John and John, an idea came to me earlier in the week. I don't know which of you two Johns would want to consider it. That you have a program or a name change to call it The Wisdom of John, A Cry in the Wilderness. And I didn't copyright it, so you're free to use that that name and that program. And you could even do a podcast, but you just have to be careful before, or you have to wait until the SOE done before you start to come on here now.
Well, we had an idea, of doing something called the journalist, not the journalist.
The journalist.
The journalist.
Yeah, well, the Wisdom of John will work too. A Cry in the Wilderness. Gentlemen, you know, many a time, John G spoke about it, the quote from Martin Niemöller, that, you know, they came for the communists and I did nothing because I wasn't a communist and so on. And that is what it has happened in Trinidad and Tobago these days. And I think Mr. Shak alluded to it when he spoke about the different factors or sections of the society that once something is really affecting them, they do business. You know, you go too hard. I protected my money. I protected my turf. I staying in my zone. Something could happen to 30,000 people in CPEP, and I don't need to say anything about it, but it's hurting my pocket because I'm selling clothes and I'm selling food and I'm selling this, and my sales going down. But at the same time, I ain't saying nothing. And that is where we have reached in Trinidad and Tobago. That we have become a sort of selfish society. Where that I don't care about you. I only care about me and my family. It's sad, but I think it's a reflection of where we have reached in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, God's blessings. Continue to do what it is you do. And we're rooting for you.
Thank you.
And even if you go to court, I go put some money in for your lawyer.
We can't find you afterwards.
You know, the thing long time was when your neighbor house on fire with yours. You know, that we have abandoned that. But as long as they're affecting me, I good.
You think really, I don't think we
that's where a lot of people are.
No, I think there are those who still doing the do, man.
No, listen. There are still those. But the majority have adopted a position.
Okay.
It affected me. For example, let me give you an example.
No, hold on. If I give the example.
Yeah.
Before Shaq time, before your time, before my time, there were those who were saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So it out there long time.
Yeah.
And then after our time, it have others who are going to come.
Yes. For example.
I agree with you, John, that there are people who would say that. But just for me in my relatively short life, right? I am saying that the pervading, even though there were people saying that, there's always a pervading feeling in the society, right? And for me, if I look back 15, 20, 30 years ago in my life, the pervading attitude wasn't that. Right? The pervading attitude. Yes, you will always have people who will see, though, you will always have outliers, right? So, for example, the flip side is happening now. While the pervading attitude is that the society is functioning under duress, there are people who are outliers who ain't seeing that, And as far as they're concerned, we are a happy-go-lucky society, and we religious and racial harmony, and everything is all rainbows and Easter bunnies and fluffy things and right. So I'm saying, I hear you. There will always be that, but I think any one of us with discernment could feel what the pervading atmosphere is, and right now the pervading atmosphere is one of duress.
Discomfort.
And important what they're using the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The atmosphere at this point in time is very disturbing.
Yes,
and you and I, we didn't disturb it.
No.
There are others who's there and they are disturbing for spite.
The funny thing is, right now, and this is what makes it more detrimental, what you're talking about, some of the people who facilitated and helped usher in the disturbers are themselves now disturbed. That is the whole thing there right now.
We go back to the cause, right?
Yeah.
But quick one. Gentlemen, in walking through I'm a Christmas man, right? I love Christmas. I love to spread joy, right?
Careful.
Okay. And when they walk into the stores and things of today, you've seen a lot of sad faces. Not just the owners of the business. Hold on, don't go to jail.
No.
I need to step out. But when you look at the who working in those business places, sometimes you hear the licking all the time about the 1%, and the 1%, and getting 1%, licks, with the 1%. Most of the stores are opening this place. It's the same, okay, the so-called 1%ers. It's them employing we. And when I say we, you understand what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And we also have to recognize them for doing that. Because if we sit by and join the others who keep beating them and bullying 1% and the this and the that, because tell them who's selling them as 1%ers, and then behind closed doors, they hugging them up, they embracing them,
But
we getting tapped on the radio, or we calling the radio station, talk shows getting tapped, and we saying certain things about the same people who employing we.
Yeah, well, we
have to be very careful.
We're seeing that happening now. I mean, let us not be confused about it. That is racist dog whistling kind of language, right?
Yeah.
Let me just call it what it is. No, whether it is rooted in the realization of, again, what we was talking about, the fragmentations of our society, we have to also understand that a lot of our historical circumstance create that. So to now take that and try to translate it into convenient racist dog whistling language, because some of the same people who use that for the political advantage embracing them now because they realize it is important to do so. Right? And not only that, some of the same people who most vociferous about that whole 1% thing trying themselves to become 1%ers. So I don't understand.
Hot shock, boy.
You know, we
you have flower, and that bring some flowers this morning. Give me flower for Shaq.
If you're saying flour, don't say flour, say flour, Flour, because that they remember it's only salt and Moby, and you know they didn't
they didn't protect flour.
No, you're correct. No, you're correct.
But you know, yeah. So you know, I mean, we have again maturity and discernment. That this is what our society really has to start to strive toward. Politically, and then again, I understand how off-putting politics can be, but we have to realize as a society, there is politics in everything, right? So I'm saying, you don't have, even if you don't want to get that actively involved to be a MP, a councillor, or whatever, but there is an important responsibility for you as a citizen to be aware and involved in whatever the political landscape is. At the very least, to be aware and informed.
And even more importantly, to exercise your civic duty. I ain't talking about right here, talking about duty. It is a duty. Going and voting is a duty. So when you fail to exercise that duty, you not only hurt yourself, you hurt the country as a whole.
And you're correct, but I want to tell you, I was very hard and fast on that view. But time has shown me some nuance in that. Now, it's not that I don't still share that view. But I also understand the consternation of people who feel when that time come, like they had to choose between the devil and the deep blue sea. Right? And I'm saying, no, that may not be totally true in reality, but I'm saying if there are people who feel that way, and we saw that in the last general election, there were people who felt that way.
Agreed.
Whether you want to legitimize their feeling or not, there were people who felt that way. Now, that is not saying that there are some people who are just politically unaware and or lazy. I am saying, however, outside of them, there are people who would usually hold that civic duty very near and dear, and they felt they were in a particular place where they felt like, you know. So I could see that nuance. However, for me, I think it is important to go past that and not just dwell in that, but really understand that despite that, there is a process that is going to happen, and there is a choice that is going to be made, and regardless of what your position is in it, you're going to have to find a way to navigate and deal with that. And so the decision is, how involved do you want to be in that process? You know, how involved, how responsible do you want to be for your place in that process?
Right. No, that what you just raised there, Shaq, just touch on, we could sit down from now until tomorrow morning, next week to discuss. Because there are those who want to be involved, you know. They want to be no MP, they want to be no councillor, but they can't block.
Correct.
Because remember, there's a certain
They are
group,
gatekeepers.
right, who want to block it.
Correct.
That you mustn't enter, you can't come inside here. Who you think, oh, you're bright, you tell, or you want to bypass me? No, you can't come inside.
Or in some cases, you can only be allowed passage if you are willing to accede to X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
You know?
If you're willing to dance, you dance.
Well, there are people who not willing to compromise.
Them dance.
Yeah.
Because they have those who want to play the tune for you in a certain way.
Of course.
Tell you when to dance. You know, long time the game. Freeze. Right? Dance. Okay, stop.
Simon Say.
Simon Say. That's thank you, John Gill. It have that going on. And it has we still in this society that the blockers. What do you call them? The gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers.
Right. So-called gatekeepers. Back to the lines. Greetings,
Hello,
welcome. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning
Good morning, Mr. Shak. Good morning,
Greetings.
John and John.
Morning.
A lot of people want to comment and want to say and want to act, but the country has reached a stage of if you say something, you are not attacked for the content of the information. because the truth offense, and they tend to want to start to attack your personality. For example, the CPO, the acting CPO signed for the 10% or whatever the story goes. Why didn't the acting CPO do it 2 weeks ago when the CPO was away? You see somebody put up in and ask that question, well, you get to hush them out. It's like, it's not making sense. So, some people's position, if all they say the sky pink, it's fuchsia pink or it's light pink. and I done the story. And not even bothering to complete to state again, because stating is like you're not hearing. Once you're party in power, nothing they do.
I hope people understand how profound that statement is. That they say the sky pink. So instead of ask it, you ask fuchsia or bright. Because I hear that, and I hope people understand how profound that statement is, Shak.
Correct.
You ain't going to correct them and say, no, the sky blue, Now, wait, is fuchsia or bright?
Because it makes no sense. Not that it doesn't make no sense, but
you're fighting a losing battle.
You're fighting a losing battle for people, and some people who are supposed to be intellect supporting the nonsense.
Of course.
And it's scary. Have a good day.
Yes, man. Blessings. 6223937.
I see somebody put up there, Michelle and Pompey, that Mr. Shak should stop singing calypso and go inside the preach.
Nah, I disagree, because when you're singing calypso,
I'm preaching while I'm singing calypso.
Okay, fine.
Preaching.
Okay, Sheldon. Right,
you're preaching.
And Susan Perryman said that you're a leader and she's with you all the way. And so have you ever given any thought of at any given time?
Carefully. I want to say this there carefully.
Wait. Who say as a leader? Who say that?
Susan Perryman.
I want to ask Miss Perryman, who is your leader?
Now she go answer that question. But what I want to tell you is be careful.
Be careful, why to be careful?
Because this man has booted many a political.
Let's go back in line.
I am quite aware of that.
Vicky Fernandez. I think you need to read that, John, to yourself. Vicky put up there. You need to read that to yourself. Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning.
Morning, guys.
Morning. How you doing?
Now, the question is, you should have asked Shak, is whose idea it was to paint the building yellow? That is the question.
Yeah, now, why I now understand why Ben Rodas ban you sometimes.
Yeah, like I said, that bacchanal,
whose idea it was? That is the question, to paint the building yellow. Because if there was ever a definition of conflict
of interest,
not a conflict of interest is one part, but misguided.
Look how long Shak said at the top of the program.
Yeah.
He whole lot to come with that,
I agree with you. The question, the other question I have is, I trying to figure out whether the doorway was also yellow at a point, and when did it change from yellow to red? I also concerned about that. Because the color, I just find the color combination kind of unique and weird now, boy.
Yeah, because right now that is we're calling, a shaded view of things.
Yeah.
Long time investigation.
Right? But more serious thing now, I want to say first, I appreciate Wendell Warren coming out and speaking.
Boss.
You understand? Wendell Warren come out and speak, right? And certain people in the arts and the society have a voice. And when them speak, heads are stood. Right, Shak, you come and you make your point, you're making a statement, you're raising eyebrows. Right? But that is the fearless ones we want. We can't depend on the unions already. Them already been compromised. right? We can't depend on certain leaders, media personalities, because them also compromise. So we have to go back to the basics of the people in the arts to really stand up for us, who've been doing that for years and years and years, right? And then that would more or less trickle down to the ground, and we might get a ground swelling, if you want to call that, right? People gonna pay attention. I would hope to see that a collective statement is being made in support of the economy of the carnival, because you see that word, the economy of the carnival, is a serious trickle down effect, and I was saying Bungie Garland had put that same economy of the carnival in song.
Song, yeah. Heart of the people.
Right? And that reaches that simple thing by banning certain performances at certain venues and stuff like that. You wouldn't believe how much people that affected.
Of course.
Yep.
You understand? From sales in the bars to the corn soup man, you call it whatever.
The whole ecosystem. There's an ecosystem. Yeah.
Correct, nice word, John. The whole ecosystem that affect, and I would like to see all the stakeholders, Pan Trinbago, Tuco, the Band Leaders Association.
Well, there was a meeting yesterday. The Promoters Association had a meeting with the minister yesterday.
The Promoters Association, they call one fraction.
I know. I hear you, but and that's the other thing that we like to do that sometimes works against us. We operate in silos rather than as a
collective.
A collective, yeah.
You understand? And that is if you want to park, you have to put your corn out there to get mashed. You have to put your corn out there to get mashed.
There are people who are prepared to do that. I was thinking of a post. There's a certain promoter who famously does a lot of comedy shows. I ain't gonna call the name yet. And I was wondering if he would be prepared to do a comedy show in this environment. And I suspect not, because a lot of corns will get mashed in that comedy show. You know? Because if you listen to other comedy shows and where the direction is, he who is trying his best to lap
protect up your own corner.
Yeah. And
but that's what satire is all about. That is what I sell. We want somebody
I really want to know if he had the, and as a promoter, to see if he really had the testicular fortitude.
No. You had to put that plug in for Rachel Price. She had the goal to do that. She does call these spades on them. You understand? So, kudos to that. But I would like to hear a collective statement on the economy of the carnival and how it affects everyone. Even the woman down in the West, they was complaining about things. She say, how all they went about this thing, that is not what we was advocating for. You understand? So, do the right thing now.
Okay.
Right? So, I just find that out.
All right, caller, thank you very much. I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. Can I do that?
No. I'm accepting anything else.
Have a good one. Hey, brother.
I want to tell that caller, I appreciate the faith he repose in the artistic community, as he should, really and truly. That is the role that it should play. But I want to tell him that in the artistic community, and that is not to throw cold water on what your view is, right? But I want to tell you, in the artistic community is a microcosm of the general society, and part of the reason why a lot of the artistic society operates in silos as they do is because there are people within the artistic society who themselves are compromised. So I want you to understand that too.
Point.
Gentlemen, we in the mood of Christmas, but there's a song since I came to work this morning. It's sticking my boy to be played. It's from Dr. Leroy Carley's The Black Stallion. A song, it's called Nothing Else Strange. And I think that is an important song to be played in this atmosphere at this time. Because from what I see in here, brothers, something wrong.
Right about here, we're going to turn this program into a little space that I like to call changes. Because we see that nothing is strange in the life of a man. Let me say that when you read your morning newspaper, the headlines say that how they charge Stalin for gorilla. I know plenty people may want to shout, but brother man, what is there for us to shout about? I living in a yes man society, where all the no man becomes the enemy. And if you decide to hold tight to your no, the system has so many different ways of getting you to go. Nothing is strange in the life of a man out for change. Once you don't want people talk for you and wouldn't do the things that they want you to do, your life is safe whether night or day, because any number could play. Nothing is strange in the life of a man out for change. The system has just way of operating. It's like a volunteer when it's about to attack its victim. Once you say they're wrong and feeling you're right, it can attack you like a thief in the night. One day you are a hero, next day a traitor. One day you're wealthy, next day a pauper. And just play your smart and too intelligent, you could die mysteriously in some freak accident. Nothing is strange in the life of a man out for change. Once you don't want people talk for you and wouldn't do the things that they want you to do, your life is safe whether night or day, because any number could play. Nothing is strange. There are crimes the system commit could fill your eyes. Now let us take the brutal murder of Sister Jean Miles, a woman whose first love was that of her country. Her second love, I know, was honesty. Jean went and exposed a gas station racket. Behavior like that, the system won't have it. And when the system around and it turned Jean around, it brought Jean worse than any beggar in town. Nothing is strange in the life of a woman on the chain. system and it's working. A better life for my people. I must keep fighting. I cannot be destroyed, and I will tell you why. Tell me how many times can one man die? I die on the shores of Africa. I die in 37, striking with Uriah. I die outside the square, demonstrating with dagger. So charging me for gorilla, that is only fire. Nothing is strange in the life of a man of change. Want you to want people talk for you and wouldn't do the things that they want you to do. Your life is safe whether night or day, because any number could play. Nothing is strange.
The voice of the late Dr. Leroy Callis, the Black Stallion himself.
Important song.
Important song. Kaiso, boy. On that note, let me just say good afternoon. Let me just say good morning going out to Patsy Callis. How you doing? It's Patsy and who am I again, boys? The Skinner Park crew, Joni?
Yes, I.
Joni, yeah.
And of course,
it was Patsy, Joni. Is Joan? Is that the next lady used to be with? But there's three ladies.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know. I believe one of them passed.
I think
yeah, one of them passed.
Yeah, they were in the Skinner Park. They was up front.
Yes, I.
Yes,
I. Yes, I.
Right. So we go back to the lines. Phone lines open 622393760 2 John, you was about to say something before.
I was going to add to that. Mrs. Roy Cape. Can't forget that lady too.
Of course, yes. Mrs. Cape, good morning.
Good morning to you.
And all those, all those wives, all those joys who spend time with their husband who is Kaiso.
Who created joy.
Or who created joy on the parang, or who singing soca parang. All those wives and then a woman that stick plenty as boy. That man going on tour for however long. Man singing in the tent every night. They can't see the husband come home. You understand me? By the time they reach home, them sleeping.
It's morning.
Yeah, and by the time the Kaiso reach home, they get up early to go and fight in the bullpen. Open the gate, Skinner Park. You understand me? And next thing you have a good song and you open to make that final, he ain't get pick at all.
And you are the comfort.
And the wife had to go and comfort you now, you understand me? And say, darling, what you want to get? Make me some porridge.
John, like you was a Kaiso.
Let's go here.
622.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, John and John.
Good morning.
And a special good morning to Mr. Shak.
I taken that with open arms. Good morning.
You had to take it, boy. Because I said, who is Mr. Shak? Besides being a Kaistonian, your discourse in political science, I have to say, your political astuteness. You're teaching the nation to recognize certain things. I say, well done. Like Ali, everybody want to hug you, but we still want to hug our boys in the studio there too, eh? We can't do. Everybody want to hug your boy.
Careful, as a Rasta man, Rasta don't deal with hug really, I could take an embrace, but I ain't sure what he hug.
I'll tell you something, not to be taken literally.
Yeah.
And H-O-G and H-U-G. The H-U-G.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I like how you tell the people to think we are politically immature. Some of us are lazy and so on. We don't look at people's track record. We don't look at our history, because I can't believe people will continue to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. If you look at somebody's, and I think you're saying that too, if you look at people's track record, do the history, where they're coming from, are they going to work in my best interest? All this you examine, and John used to always say, examine the horns and so on and so forth. Say, nah boy, I'm ruling this out, and I'm ruling that out. You know what I mean? Because we want the best for all of us, not for a few. Like in America, you people working for the billionaires and all kind of things, and you able to have a this fete while people starving, you know, and all this kind of thing. You don't care. And as Pope Francis said, power without compassion and love is oppressive. Power, a leader who exercises power without compassion and love. This is Pope Francis, God rest his soul, saying it is oppressive. And we have seen a lot of oppression in the society. All of a sudden, people afraid to talk. But prior to, people were saying all kind of things, different things, getting away with whatever. With their words, they said all kind of things. All of a sudden, you're frightened. You're putting your finger on your lip. What is that? Mr. Shak and guys, you understand? So you want people to think. When you reach at that stage, is it that we in trouble? So when I heard you, I said, yes, there's hope still. There's hope for us still. Mr. Shak, I don't know where you went. If you went to the big school in St. Augustine or where. Also, I see certain things coming through. You know? And you have to inform, you have to direct the people in society. Listen, once you cross certain boundaries, raise your voices and let them be heard if something going wrong.
That is the name of one of my songs. You just say there, you know, raise your voices.
All right. Like we are the same wavelength.
Well,
Yeah, so I want you to spread joy.
Give thanks.
Happy Christmas. Have a wonderful day, all you guys.
Bye-bye, guys.
You too.
Right, the number is 6223937, with 2 I's, i95.5, 23 minutes past the hour of 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
You see the kind of stress I had to go through, Shak? Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen.
Greetings.
What they say?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Greetings, yeah.
Good recognized panel as usual. Morning to the barbershop. Gentlemen, you see Carnival is a social definition of Trinidad. The social construction of life has Carnival assigned it. And Carnival, being that, is not something easily dismissed. Gentlemen, I remember when the London police, Bobbies or whatever they call them, came to Trinidad to study Carnival because Carnival was spreading throughout the world. And they decided to come to Trinidad to understand the festival itself. And when they were prepared to leave, they submitted a précis of the report, commenting that, you see this thing don't have a strategy that we could put on paper. This is just a spontaneous response of a society that has built something that they have to be proud of. Because there's no crime, there's no violence, there's no this. Britain football used to have violence. You have violence in all kind of other organizations in the world, festivals in the world known for violence. You have an outpouring of a section of bands and masqueraders and everything organized around at Monday and Tuesday from Juve to last lap, without clashes, without violence. A band reach on stage first, a band reach on stage second. This is something that we cannot dismiss as a simple thing to be attacked because we feel it's noise or some other petty reason. This is not part of a university studies, Carnival studies. It's part of the Department of Festival Arts where people get degrees and PhDs in this. Exchange students come from all over the world to doing reenactment of the Cambule and all of that. This is a product. It don't even need the standard to criticize, to say we must ask how much money it makes. If that is doing all of that, it
unquantifiable. We can't treat it as everything else and say, look, Carnival is bringing money and Pan is bringing money and this is bringing money. The government is under obligation to defend something as precious as this and not in money terms. You understand?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller.
And I know this is relevant to the thing that we got.
Let's take one more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we'll get back to this.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, hello. Morning, brothers.
Morning.
Morning to you.
Morning. What's up, Mr. Shak? Good morning.
Yeah, man. Greetings.
Yeah, man. I have a little quick point there. Morning, friend. Yeah, I have a quick point there. Yeah, listen, in terms of what took place with the gentleman, the goodly gentleman, the fisherman and friends at the sea, right? Now, I'm on to, in terms of his visa being revoked. I know a lot of Calypso artists, the part of the survival is to perform in foreign countries and stuff like that. Well, I am on to believe, as a side note, that the OFAC license prior to the elections was cancelled by request from Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of people didn't see it. I see it. And that is my personal opinion, that the OFAC license was cancelled by request. Will Calypsonians be limited? In light of the past 6 months, they have information and material to last for the next 52,000 million years. Just the 6 months here alone, it have stuff to write Calypsos for the next 10 or so million years. Is it that we would be restricted in terms of getting down to the nitty-gritty of the influence? Well, Trumpina, for want of a better description, the influence that the President of America have on the Prime Minister in this country. And I dare say that the recent cancellation of a visa was also, in my opinion, a request also, just like the OFAC license. Are you all limited now in terms of how you all will think, in fear and in lieu that a request can be put in to cancel all your visas and stuff like that, and would it affect all your... I want to know if all you make an adjustment, because I waiting to hear the kind of Calypsos going to come out, but I want to know if it is watered down and fear that your performances in the US will be
in jeopardy.
In jeopardy, yes. Thank you, Mr. Gill. Thank you. Hey, Mr. John, how are you so quiet, bro?
Wait, I'm a surprise you for Monday. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Wait, buddy.
To somewhat quickly answer the question he asks, I want to tell him first of all that Calypsonians in the fraternity of Kaiso, while we are in the same fraternity, Calypsonians are not a monolith. And what I mean by that is, each Calypsonian will make, and Calypso singer will make decisions for themselves based on their circumstances. I said to another caller earlier that even in the arts and culture, there are people who are compromised and who have their own affiliated interests. The same goes for the Calypso fraternity. So I will say to you that I could only speak for myself. If you have been really paying attention to my work over the years, you should know by now that nobody can muzzle me. And what I have to say, people often try to place me in sides. 1 minute I hear as a PNM, next minute I hear as a UNC, as everything, right? But because of the fact that, and I don't try to contrive balance, I say things as I see them, and in saying things that I see them, there will be enough commentary to be made on all sides of the divide. So I'm saying to you that I can answer that question for the totality of Kaiso, and Kaiso doesn't move in that way, in that, as I say, there are times when the fraternity would make decisions collectively, but in terms of what we sing, how we go sing it, those are individual decisions for Calypsonians to make. Interestingly, however, you have mentioned some things in your contribution that I have already dealt with and put in Kaiso. Right? So all I could tell you is time longer than twine hold some string, it go come this now.
Well, I was about to say time will tell, but then I say let me not say that because it'll come across like I'm trying to tell you caller to hush. And that's not what it is. But
but
you see that whole thing about time longer than twine and time will tell, that is important. And if I go back to Stalin, I think Stalin about college so dealing with that too.
Yeah.
Right? You see time, you could do what you want, dance, jump up, say where you want. Where there's a start, there's a
must
end.
be.
And I hear you about the fraternity, right? But sometimes, you know, the fraternity is also, I don't want to use the word control. John, I need your guidance here. They're guided by an organization. And the organization, okay. Remove the word guide?
No, you're correct. I wanted to continue. I want to respond. Go ahead.
Right. Guided by an organization. And the organization depends on the big purse. And the biggest purse in Trinidad and Tobago is controlled by the government, whoever is the government. And when they're controlling, that purse, when they want from that purse, there's things that you're prepared to do and asking or not prepared to do. So there are some will dance in a certain way and some will dance in a certain way. And while you might be shocked with the independent mind, the independent thinker, the independent singer doing your do, seeing that you see it, you mentioned there's nobody can muzzle you. That's like shock. But that too could take some food off of your table.
Well, definitely. But, the perception of taking food off the table, my feeling is, anytime there is the perception, you see, I just live my life a particular kind of way where balance is very important. And when I say balance, not balance that I create, I am saying when I walk in my purpose, there is a balance that is provided for me.
That's it.
So that when it might seem to people, and in some cases even to me, that taking a particular stance might have denied me an opportunity or something over there.
In the eyes of man.
Unknown to me and unexpectedly, in places that I could never dream of, other doors and other opportunities are open, in some cases way more bountiful than what seemed to have presented itself. So I never worry about those things. But you're right, that is why I told the caller we are not a monolith, because I am quite aware there are Calypsonians who those considerations will be for them. But if you know anything about me, I am that very organization under several different administrations have come at loggerheads because of commentary I have made in Calypso about the said fraternity. But I am one who believes you can't have a group of people or a thing function in the society that is functioning as a mirror to the society, but they're afraid to look in the mirror themselves. Right? That's how I feel about it. So that I have sang songs. As a matter of fact, the song that I sang this year, Brand New Lover, was one of a few. When you go back, you will hear I sing Kaiso's like Blueprint and Kaiso Blues and all these songs and Rebellion. All these songs were dealing squarely, directly with the politics of Kaiso in Kaiso and the detrimental sides of it. So what I'm saying is that I don't really pull no punches, and it is not with a view to just be controversial for being controversial sake. Again, I address things as I see them, as they are revealed to me, and as my purpose tell me I have to address them. So you're right. That is for me, and there are other people. The thing though, however, and this is a statement I would make in totality for the fraternity. The same way that we speak in politically, that there is a consequence to abiding by things that are less than desirable, the same thing applies in the Kaiso fraternity. So you may want to curb, existing in the fullness of your purpose as a Calypsonian, but rest assured that while you might be benefiting in one way, there's a flip side, there's a converse consequence to that as well. And each man and woman had to make the decision as to where the balance lie and where they're comfortable with.
Before we go to the song, the country is lacking leaders and leadership at this point in time. We look around. And something you're speaking there, I'm feeling something within my spirit that,
You're real trying to baptize me.
You go and sing the Calypso.
You're real trying to, you want to play the song fast now. You see, you're queuing him to play. I'm going to, yes.
No, John. The man is speaking and he's captivating. He's the man holding the oil, the man
living in his purpose. And that is what I liked about what she's saying. Once you live in your purpose, things happen.
Right. So the man holding the own, the man getting people to listen to him. I'm saying, the last time my leader was speaking many years ago, was Dr. Rowley. And you
wanna put it up so we could hear it?
Story time. Oiga el cuento. Last Christmas I got Christmas. Your boy got parang in with them politician them. They want to sing parang, but they don't know no parang song. So I take my quattro and decide to teach them one. Well, now I regretting that I do such a thing. Cause up to now is that same parang they keep singing. It's only lie, lie, lie. If you hear them lie, 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 all day the lie, lie, lie. Lelo lie, lelo lie. They love the lie, lie, lie. Like they can't stop lie, lie, lie. If you hear them lie, lie, lie. Lelo lie, lelo lie. Well, they're putting me in trouble with this lie, lie, lie. Lord knows me able with this lie, lie, lie. Say they're causing me real problem with this lie, lie, lie. Telling people I who teach them this lie, lie, lie. But it's only lie, lie, lie. If you hear them lie, 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 all day the lie, lie, lie. Lolo lie, lolo lie. They love the lie, lie, lie. Like they can't stop lie, lie, lie. If you hear them lie, lie, lie. Lolo lie, lolo lie, lolo lie. Yeah. Well, look at the crosses. Oh, trouble. Hear me now. Well, this Christmas they ain't catching me in the foolishness this time. I said this Christmas when I go in and rhyme, I leaving all of them behind. Cause last year when they start with the lie, lie, lie refrain, people tell me not to bring them by the house again. So I try to teach them at Winaldo Eden Serenal. But no matter how I try, they ain't singing that at all. It's only lie, lie, lie. Everywhere the lie, lie, lie. All day the lie, lie, lie. Lelo lie, lelo lie. Hear them lie, lie, lie. If you see them lie, lie, lie. Right through the lie, lie, lie. Lelo lie, lelo lie. Well, they're putting we in trouble with this lie, lie, lie. Lord knows we ain't able with this lie, lie, lie. Yes, they're causing people problem with this lie, lie, lie. Singing it out like an anthem. This lie, lie, lie. Man, it's too much lie, lie, lie. If you hear them lie, lie, lie. Right through the lie, lie, lie. Lelo lie, lelo lie. They can't stop lie, lie, lie. If you hear them lie, lie, lie. Man, all of them lie, lie, lie. Lelo lie, lelo lie, lelo lie. I have for G. Look at my crosses. Ay, ay, ay. It's bacchanal in the parang. Oiga el cuento. Well, I hear they don't start planning parang life for next year. But not me and them fellas, I'm not going anywhere. I bust off all my string and put my quattro on a shelf. If they want a parang, let them lie, lie, lie by themselves. It's too much lie, lie, lie. I can't take lie, lie, lie. For the party, lie, lie, lie. Lelo lie, lelo lie. They overdoing it, man. Chuck man, lie, lie, lie. Time, oh gosh. Learn something else now. Lelo lie, lelo lie.
Trying to understand that parang song there.
Well, the name of the song is El Cuento, which is Spanish for the story, right?
Yeah, tell us.
So the story really is that I play fast here and decide I'm going and parang with some politicians, and I try to teach them all kind of other song, and all them wanted to sing was that particular song.
Which is?
Lie, lie, lie. And you know, I go in by people to parang with them and ending up in problems because they may want to sing nothing else. You know?
What is it, Shari, with all of you? Yellow lie, lie, lie. Lamo. LMAO. John, what that mean?
Laughing.
Okay. All right. Okay, don't worry. I'm going to let you ask. Sorry, John. Sorry.
Careful, careful.
Yeah.
And who you ask?
Yeah.
You'll get the answer.
Oh, you know what I mean? So you went and parang with the politicians?
Yeah, well, that was the first. It happened twice in that one time. The first and the last time.
Right.
It happened twice.
It happened the first and the last time?
Twice in that one instance. The first and the last time.
So you went and parang with politicians?
Yeah.
And you enjoy yourself? You had that
No,
time?
I didn't. That is why it was the first and the last time. I didn't.
So what? The whole idea is that they're lying.
That what they was singing, I don't know. You know, you could interpret. You know, but you know, it was me. On another note, though, I now see what you're talking about.
Okay.
So
let's turn over the mic to John Gill there.
So when you
let's turn off the mic to John Gill. Yeah. So we have 11:41 moving with time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Gill.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead because we can't stick.
All right.
We don't stick ready for the morning.
Who's all right? Good. All right. So we want to welcome Stacey and PRO of Massey Trinidad All Stars because she's here to talk about an important event coming up. Stacey's over to you,
I don't stick.
No,
Never
you can't
do.
stick.
Well, I don't know who's sticking, but we moving with time and radio is money, radio is time.
So
11:41.
Classical Jewels 14 started in 1974, and this is the 14th edition, so about 3.7 productions over 3.7 years over each production. And this year, Dr. Mia Gormady Benjamin is the creative director. And Classical Jewels this year by Trinidad All Stars will be walking the journey of how classical music came to the streets of Port of Spain, then to the halls of Queen's Hall, and now to the halls of Napa.
Okay, so it's a journey.
It is a journey. It is a journey, and an important journey in our history, because many people might not know Pan didn't start as Pan. It started as rhythm. It started from the tambu bamboo, and then it was rhythm. And then Neville Jules, our 7th captain, decided that he was going to play the classics, which was really and truly the only music that we as a people would have known in the 1930s and 1940s. And he brought that to the streets of Port of Spain, and then other orchestras started adopting that type of music. Many people might not always also know that previous to the government accepting our instrument as our national instrument in 1952, the Royal College of Music, through the Music Festival, encouraged the classics to the stage. All Stars didn't compete for about 10 years, and it's always a judging problem. But All Stars didn't compete for 10 years, and when they came back up on stage continuously, we were topping 1, 2, 3. In fact, winning the Steel Band Music Festival 6 times.
Wow.
So this event's happening on what date? Give us the date.
The event is happening at Napa on Saturday, November the 29th, and Sunday, November the 30th. The starting time on Saturday, show starts at 8 p.m., show starts on Sunday at 6 p.m. $350 a seat.
Are we talking next Saturday?
Next Saturday.
$350 US. That's good, right?
No. Well, actually, glad that you should have brought that up, because our production is a first-class production. And if you had come to Classical Jewels, the previous ones, 13 and 12, you would have seen when we brought the movies to the stage that we did a phenomenal job that has not been recreated. And we are up in our game. Broadway has nothing to do with us on the 29th and 30th. And Broadway tickets in New York are equally priced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you last Wednesday, so it's clear to me that from Wednesday to now you sold out by now. Well, sold out real tickets.
You know, it is surprising that somebody called me and they said, "We heard you on the radio, we want to get 2 tickets." And I'm like, me? I am not the panelists. I mean, those, and I want to say this publicly, they've been working day in and day out, full-time jobs during the day, coming to the panyard and working at their music, because playing classical music is very, very different from playing panorama music. With panorama music, you take one chord and you kind of manipulate that chord with the engine room, whereas classical music is actually showing how our instrument mimics the philharmonic ensemble, and the percussion is just the wave underneath the instruments being very, very clear in a hall that is designed for sound.
All Stars, we hear, could tell you All Stars back in the day, Neil and Massey, All Stars itself, full in history, and we're dealing with Duke Street, Port of Spain, connecting George Street, Nelson Street, Duncan Street, all over Port of Spain. Those from Laventille coming down, those from far other places coming to join All Stars, and you're all full in history. And I know you have a lot to share about All Stars.
Always.
So give us some of the good, the great things that are happening out of All Stars.
Well, out of All Stars, okay, so let's start with, in the 1940s, All Stars was the first steel orchestra to, under Decca Records, to record the Roaring Lions' Lion O. Right? And since that time, we have now become landowners, we are landlords, we have a full functioning academy that started under Dr. Gormady a few years ago, and that allows children, students, senior citizens, I call them senior citizens, but persons who would have been told when they were 20, 25, 30, you can't go and play in a pan. You can't play pan, you can't go in a pan, yeah, that is not for you. And now you see people coming in droves, they're learning how to play music. They are taking the music exams. So we're up in our game every single time. This year we were the first to play full orchestra play on Times Square.
Right.
And then we also, and born out of All Stars would have been Panas, and we know that Panas, the movie, has been making these stages. I wanted Johanna Popwell to be with us because her dad, Johan Popwell, is one of the shining stars of
Panas.
Arranger, composer, really one of the persons who has done. I think we're all born with a gift, and he walked into All Stars under Derek Nurse, and he became the human being that he is today.
Yeah. I think he went on to arrange for the Barney Crep.
Yes.
Stacey, just tell us where we get some tickets.
So tickets can be bought Neville Jules Junction, which is All Stars Spaniard. It can also be bought on Island e-tickets. You can go to Massey stores, Gulfview, Brentwood, Trin City, Maraval, and Westmorelands, and you can buy it from any member of Trinidad All Stars. Napa also has tickets for sale as well.
Okay. And before I wrap up here, my little history with All Stars, I remember Miss Glenda. I used to remember Miss Glenda. Can you remember Miss Glenda?
Miss Glenda was a darling. And
in the All Stars band. John, it's that thing I don't talk, I leave you to talk. Don't start me up this morning, eh? Go ahead, Cecily.
But I mean, Miss Glenda, God rest her soul.
Yes.
I mean, those are the people that have supported the band, come hell or high water, and you see them every day, and you might not know their name. And they are really the veins that run through Trinidad All Stars. It is why we are 90 years old, because we have on stage on Saturday and Sunday next week. You're going to have grandfathers playing with their grandchildren, mothers and fathers playing with their children, and so we are truly a family band.
I wish we had more time so we could spend, because I know, as I said, All Stars have a rich history, and I know we could touch on that some more down the road, because I know you all also quell the noise in certain communities long before the police get involved and say certain things, and right? You all are doing, you all do quietly in the background there. So we're looking forward to next week, Saturday. And
thank you so much
Saturday
for
and
having
Sunday,
me.
Napa.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And no fault of yours, Stacey, because I know people give you misinformation. And Mr. Shak will testify when I dealt with him just now.
He's one of my favorite people I've ever met before. I am always like,
Okay. But he can't take hog. He eat pork.
See? You see how
Yeah, that's what we are.
You'll get PR work. For sure.
I'm glad he experienced
for
it.
sure.
every time he comes on stage and he like hits you with the words and the...
All right. So you stay right there. You could bask in the ambience of Mr. Shak and we just play the ad and come back with Mr. Shak.
Trinidad and Tobago, get ready! The Steel Pan event of the season is here. The legendary Massey Trinidad All-Stars presents Classical Duels 14, Rhythm of a 90-year legacy. This is the iconic concert series you need to experience, celebrating a monumental 90 years of discipline, dedication, and musical magnificence. Join us for an unforgettable night at the Lord Kitchener Auditorium, Napa. We have two shows, Saturday, November 29th at 8 p.m. and Sunday, November 30th at 6 p.m. You'll be mesmerized by the Massey Trinidad All-Star Senior and Junior Orchestras, alongside a lineup of special guest artists. It's a spectacular fusion of classical masterpieces, popular favorites, and original arrangements. A musical journey only All-Stars can deliver. Tickets are just $350 and selling fast. Secure yours now at select Massey stores in Gulfview, Brentwood, West Moorings, Maraval, and Trin City. Online at islandetickets.com, the Napa box office, or at the Trinidad All-Star Spaniard, 46 to 48 Duke Street, Port of Spain. Don't just hear a concert, feel the pulse of a legacy. This is history told in harmony. Classical Duels 14. Be part of the rhythm.
We keep that.
Wrong one. All right, now you're good. We good. Nice.
John, I want to ask a question. Right?
Yes or no? Shak expose him, yes or no?
No, wait. Before we go there, since we're in the segment of the show of plug-in events, we could talk about the thing we
of course.
Nice. I just saying.
Yes.
So firstly, for all the people from South mainly, but if you're not from South, don't feel no way, right? Because what I'm going to talk about is a Sunday morning. So you could take a cool drive down the highway and still reach back in your house in a reasonable time. But on Sunday, the 7th of December at 10 a.m. by Ateliers by the Park, everybody's supposed to know where Ateliers by the Park, we having something called the Kaisoka Parang meet Steel Pan Christmas brunch, right? As we talk in pan. So it's going to be myself giving you some of my original Kaisoka Parang jams, along with, a lot of the classic Christmas music we get accustomed to. And my good partner, Panis Extraordinaire, Daryl Harp Edwards, right? Daryl is foundation fun clear man from Pan by Storm and late great Professor Ken Fillmore days, right? Daryl Edwards, Panis. So he go be there giving you some sweet songs of steel. We have DJ Bass too, and of course the great Cuisina Ateliers. So tickets are $200 now. Mind you, that $200 is a steal of a deal because that is meal inclusive, eh? So that is show and meal, right? And it is Saturday, 7th December from 10 a.m. Or you come through, tickets are available at Ateliers by the Park, or you could also call 260-7770. Let me say it again, 260-7770, or at Ateliers by the Park. Come through in the Kaisoka Parang meet Steel Pan. You go hear yours truly. I might sing one or two Kaiso. I might even give you a sneak peek at the 2026 Kaiso. Who knows? But you're coming and getting sweet Steel Pan, some nice Christmas music. We're trying to bring back that real organic Trinbagonian Christmas feel, and of course that cuisine from Ateliers make you want to lick all your fingertips them when you're done eat, and them kind of things. So again, Saturday 7th December 10 a.m. tickets $200, meal inclusive, available at Ateliers by the Park, 260-770. Myself, Mistah Shak, along with Panis Extraordinaire, Daryl Harp Edwards. All you come through, like we have a time Sunday morning. We go finish in enough time that all you could reach back home and enjoy the rest of the Sunday evening.
What is Ian's sister's name again? Ian's sister name?
Paula, Ateliers.
Hello, Paula. Always locked on. Morning to you, Paula.
Yeah, but no pork.
No pork. What?
No hog.
We don't ask you. You need to relax now. Next few minutes on the radio. You need to stay quiet.
No.
Ishak say yeah. Be going. Ishak say no. Spare. I spare.
No. Because
I know you're going to play a particular song, but I hope that before we leave, we could touch it right there too, right? But
right. Yeah.
Let me do a thing. I go free up.
I don't understand what that language both of you are saying.
Because you don't understand the vibration.
The vibration.
Okay. Same song.
Apologies if you felt left out of that little exchange. But we were speaking on a musical level. So I'm not sure if you would have been
I said to you at the top. Right? The things I like about you. Complete.
Oh God, hey.
This is as real love can get now.
For years I shed tears, watching other men treat you bad, and it hurt me so. Always seeing you look so sad. Oh woman, see they choose you, but they use you. They abuse you, so they gon' lose you. And even when you think your hardship ends, it starts all over again. But it's a brand new era, time for a brand new lover. Woman, your heartache is over, but tell them I'm your brand new lover. Hey. Tell them dress back, go talk back, go turn back. Heartache is over. Tell them I'm your brand new lover. Whoa. One by one I see them come, see them go with the same happy show, claiming that they love you to death. But the hate in their hearts make the game fall apart. None of them wasn't ready yet, no. They say must I treat you bad, so them will save you. But in the big yard, them
and self-enslave you. Now you know them out full of lies. Get them out of your life, cause it's a brand new era. Time for a brand new lover. Right, so your heartache is over. But tell them I'm your brand new lover. Seem like they want to keep your vision and your mission trapped in the TV competition. Tell them jokers, you deserve a brand new lover. To the bridge now, they never really value the beauty that you got. Oh no. So they try to turn you into all kind of thing that you're not, Kaiso. They try to change your spirit and feel, manipulate your soul and appeal, but you knew that it was never ever real. So tell them it's a brand new era, time for a brand new lover. They know your heartache is over. Calypso's got a brand new lover. This is an important verse. Hear me good do. About your historical roots. They never care a thing. They distort your actual truth, cause they feel the lying agenda is king. What a thing. But together we go restore your Kaiso house. Ignore all of them Kaiso louse. Your legacy too great to sell out, so them faking frauds must get to hell out with them brand new era. Time for a brand new lover. Reject all pretentious posers, cause you deserve a brand new lover. Hey, so let them take their old rhymes and the same old wine, and they could put them thing where the sun does shine and move over, cause you got a brand new lover. You are mine. Tell them it's a brand new era, and let them know your heartache is over, cause you got a brand new lover. Said it is a brand new era. It's time for a brand new lover. Know your heartache is over, Kaiso, I'm your brand new lover. Said I'm your brand new lover. Tell them I'm your brand new lover, yeah. Let them know this is a brand new era, and you deserve a brand new lover. Listen good, all who feel they make you and they could break you, tell them don't get tied up and mistake you. All who talking bold about how them is your soul, them Nancy story can't fool you all in this brand.
Kaiso.
Ito Alex lang. Lalo more lines? No more lines? Karen Clifton, John Clifton, good morning. Roslyn Waterloo-Keys. Caroline Stevens, good morning.
By the way, the female voice is Leandra here. Yeah, that's nice Leandra.
But Shak, you have a good singing voice. Man can sing, but you're true. But you take that bit?
No, but seriously, no. But there's no thing.
No.
Seriously,
well done. And you're singing Parang. You're singing Kaiso. You're a political analyst.
No, I don't know about that part.
But Shak, where's that in your whole journey? Did you start in Kaiso?
Well, that's where I started. That's what I born into.
Right.
In terms of, I mean, my family musically inclined. I was involved in everything, so I was exposed to all kind of music. But Kaiso was always a staple for me. So I as a man was all just immersed in Kaiso. You know, both sides of my family. So even though as a youth man, I was of course influenced by other things. I love hip hop and love reggae and all them things, but I always loved Kaiso beyond all of that. And then, of course, getting older and getting into the thing and understanding the root of Kaiso and how it is the root of all these other forms too. You know, I get a different kind of responsibility in terms of expressing myself through Kaiso and as a Kaiso. You know?
But gentlemen, Mr. Shak has